Ms. Jean Smith, representing Together We Will, followed by Mr. Christopher Providence, also representing Together We Will.
Good evening, President Voskuhl, Superintendent Canavan, Vice President Runyon, and board members. My name is Jean Smith, and I'm a Harford County resident and a member of Together We Will. Though belated, I would like to thank Mr. Voskuhl, Mrs. Reynolds, Ms. Gauthier, Mr. Williamson, Mr. Resnick, and Mr. Burby for attending the presentation on disrupting the school-to-prison pipeline at HCC last month. I hope the board members found the presentation educational. I did, with facts that 70% of high school dropouts go into the prison system, and 50% of that population are illiterate. Presenters advocated for teen court and community restorative practices and conflict resolution, along with looking at the roots and causes and issues that lead to delinquency. One of the issues a presenter spoke to is, are teachers getting the resources they need? What diversity training is given for school teachers? Diversity training, restorative practices are something I and others have spoken to the board members about on numerous occasions over the past several months. I've seen in the Aegis where the Board of Education will only receive an additional $7.1 million for the next year's budget, instead of the $20 million requested. Due to this limited increase, the proposal from Mrs. Gauthier for an additional $100K to be given to Ms. Nemi's office may not come to fruition. I'm hoping that Superintendent Canavan's task force that was to meet for the first time last week will move forward even with the imminent departure of Superintendent Canavan on the problems of non-acceptance of diversity that have occurred over this past school year in Harford County Public Schools. While funding may be scarce, Superintendent Canavan has stated at one of the past board meetings that some additional funding can always be found. I hope additional funding possibly could be used for diversity training for teachers and expanding suicide prevention training to all instructional staff. Another avenue could be contacting outside professionals in the field of implicit bias training who may be willing to give training to teachers and even students on a pro bono basis or for a reduced fee. I think the implicit bias training that some of the board members and Ms. Nemi attended that was sponsored by Together We Will was worthwhile and educational and one that could benefit all. I hope with or without earmarked funding that the board, superintendent, and principals in the county do make diversity training and restorative practices a priority to be permanently embedded in the educational system of this county. Thank you.